Hi, friends. It's Summer McStravick here, and welcome, welcome. I'm so glad to see you. This is day one of our gorgeous event that I've been working on all spring. It's called Scarcity Thinking Sucks, So Do Limiting Beliefs. And I've gotten together a ton of wonderful people, friends of mine that I've known for years, as well as some new people that I just met. But they all have one thing in common. They each have an expertise in what your limiting beliefs may be in a specific area of your life. So I spent hours and hours and hours having these delightful conversations where we unearth the beliefs that we have in our relationships, with money, with our health, with time, with our own personal inner power, et cetera, et cetera. So I know that at some point, one or two or 10 of these wonderful people are going to strike something in your heart. But first, I want to share with you why I'm doing this, what propelled me, and what do I have to say about limiting beliefs and scarcity thinking. And those of you who know me from flow dreaming know that I call it lack thinking. And I have done tons of podcasts and just work on lack thinking over the years. So this is my opportunity right now to kind of ground you in what's happening in the world, what's happening with our kind of emergence from the last year, year and a half, and how lack thinking might be part of what we're experiencing and where we need to find it and get rid of it. So, I just want you to think for a second. This year, this last 18 months, it's been hard, right? Everybody admits that. But we're at this precipice right now, and certainly different countries in the world are at different points of this precipice, and some are going into the big lack and the pulling back and the shutting down, and some of them are starting to come out of that again, and some of them are going in and out and in and out. What's happening in these countries is really a macrocosm of what's happening inside of ourselves. We have been shutting down and then coming back out, shutting down, not sure when we can come back out. Right? So what we're feeling around us globally and nationally perfectly is mimicking what's going on inside of us. So for me, I've been thinking, when you go through a traumatic experience, when you travel through the fire, you either emerge purified, right? The phoenix in the flame, or you come out with PTSD. You're not quite there. You're not quite started yet. Your engine is still sputtering. So when I conceived of this whole idea of presenting a summit like this and speaking into this, it was with the goal of, hey, if you're ready to emerge, if you are just like, you're just like pedal to the metal, I want to go. I want to make sure that you emerge beautifully, lightly, with your heart open, with your mind high, without limitations, without lack thoughts and scarcity and things like this holding you back. And this is a critical time. I mean, I know I'm just hammering on this point, but it's a critical time because we have this beautiful moment right now, which is we left a lot of things in 2019, right? We left, and think about that. That's like 2 years ago almost. But already in 2019, a lot of us were starting to feel a shift and a change, right? You guys remember that? It was a pretty tumultuous year. It was like there was a lead up of energy that was already in motion, sweeping out, getting rid of, letting go. You might have had things break, decline, work, relationships, stress, and then boom, here comes this big period of time where you are told, and the world is told, shh, you can't go outward anymore. The only place to go is inward. And some of us went inward and struggled. And we struggled. We're like, oh, now that I'm in here in myself for the next, 18 months or whatever, oh boy, what have I found? And so a lot of us did that journey. And some of us more than others. We all know some people who didn't do that at all. But that was the setup. That was sort of the universal setup for us. And now we're on the other side of that. Hey, what did you have in 2019 that you don't want to emerge with? I think that's the number one thought here. You actually have permission right now to look back on your life a couple years ago and say, I don't want to carry that with me. I'm not taking that. That didn't work for me. And I was doing it anyway. So, like, a personal thing for me is I used to have an incredibly heavily booked schedule. I mean, just hour after hour, booked, 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 booked. And it felt normal, right? I'm a mom. I've got two teenagers. I run a company. I work with all of my clients. I like to be creative. So I've always got a couple projects going. Bam, ba, bam, ba, bam. And what I realized during this pandemic was my schedule cleared. And I was suddenly floating through 20% of the work that I used to be doing. I was boiling it down to the fundamentals, the things that I would not let go of that needed me. And I really got to see what needed me versus where I was just filling myself up with lots and lots and lots. So, one of the things that I've decided as I emerge from the pandemic is I'm going to do things differently there. I am not taking that with me. That overbooked schedule, that's gone. It's done. And some of you guys are thinking, well, yeah, me driving that 2 hour commute to the office every day, done. I can find something better than that. It exists. It's possible. And I think that's what really we've been gifted with. This whole sense of new things being possible, structures we never thought would happen before. I mean, who thought the government would actually pay us money? Send checks to us for no reason. Like, that's mind blowing. This is the way that things have completely changed in our world. And that's why I'm stressing this is such a critical point. So the first thing I want you to think of is, what do you not want to bring forward and out back with you again? That's important. And you are allowed to say, not that, not that, not that. So what happens after this? And by the way, this is a great time to like journal that, write that down, think about it. What happens after that though? Well, this is where we get into the whole lack and scarcity thinking thing. And I know for some of you, it might be kind of a funny, title for an event, like lack thinking sucks. Yeah, okay. Or scarcity, right? I don't want to focus on bad stuff. It's not bad stuff. It's great stuff. Because you see, when we start to look at those things that are holding us back from our emergence, we break away the cobwebs. We break away the barriers, and we get to go right into the new us, free from some of those things I told you you have permission to not do ever again. So we have this space in ourselves. And I think a lot of us have really cultivated that space in ourselves. And I know this is an aside, but you know how I teach, right? I go on all these tangents and then I bring it back, I promise. But if you felt it all this year, like I had all the time in the world, it was crazy how much time I had. And yet I got nothing done. And you're kind of kicking yourself like, God, I thought I would start my art or start my new side gig, or I would write that book, or I would, and yet I felt like the days, and I jokingly call it Blur's Day. Like every day has been Blur's Day for us. How is it that when we're actually gifted with everything that we've wanted, all this time and space and freedom and no commute and etc., we end up doing nothing with it? Right? That's one of the things that we may have been feeling. I fell behind. I lost track. I lost a couple years. I fell behind getting my raises or promotions or in my career, or I just maintained, or summer, you don't know how hard it was. I had to show up every day at the hospital and I was there for 12 hours. And it was frightening. And I don't know where the year went. It was a Blur's Day the whole way through. Like we all kind of, or the grocery store, right? You guys in the grocery store, like, thank you. But what you're seeing is you filled your time, just not quite with what you thought you may have filled it with. And I want you to recast that, because right there, I'm starting with one fundamental lack thought that some of us are still carrying. And that's this. When I was gifted with what I wanted, I did nothing with it. Shh, erase that. Just take your magic eraser and take that away. When you had this year, you were moving through adjustments. Your energy, yourself, your future was positioning itself in a brand new way it had never experienced before. It wasn't that you just got to take a year-long sabbatical while the rest of the world was percolating and happy and you got to do all your fun projects. That's really different. What ended up happening for you was, I've got to deal with this massive change, this existential threat to my life, my family, my community. And I'm alone with myself. That is what you guys did. That is huge. It's huge. And it makes all the things that you didn't do or fell behind with irrelevant. So recast that lack thought and, props, like credit to yourself. We are getting through this, and we have gotten through this. And I think if you look deeper in, you will discover those little jewels that came to you. And that's sort of the next step. Like, how do we emerge and break through? The little jewels. I realized that I hated that career and I don't need to do it anymore. I realized that my relationship was fundamentally broken and we weathered it through, but no, it's not going where I want it to go. I realized that this is a great person and they stuck with me and they were my bubble partner. And I have no reason to hold my heart back from them anymore, right? All of these little things are also there. You just look for them and you're going to be finding them. And this is what we're emerging with. This is what I want you to go forward with. So let's call it back now to the central idea that I wanted to go to about lack thinking, scarcity thinking, limiting beliefs. These are terms that we throw around. Limiting beliefs, we all have kind of ideas of what that might be. It's that thing that we were taught or told that keeps us from becoming something else, right? Like, nice girls aren't pushy. Good girls don't speak up, they wait their turn. Good boys work hard and have stellar careers. I mean, these are good teachings, right? These are really traditional things. I'm just pulling out of the top of my head. But they're beliefs that, as we internalize, have these ripple impacts through the rest of our life. Good girls don't speak up. Well, then I guess I have to just wait my turn. My turn, which, funny, never seems to come. So I'm doing something that I felt was good, but maybe that's a belief that I can kind of shake loose. I can test that. I can try something different. So limiting beliefs are those things I call ceilings in my world of flow dreaming. Ceilings are where we go so high, but we can't see above it. We don't even know what's above it because we've never been there. All we see is the ceiling and we don't go past it. Lack thinking to me is where your ceilings all come down in these different areas of your life. Now, I break it down into 3 forms of lack fundamentally. And you guys, everything that you're saying to yourself right now, I can't do this. I'm not good enough for that. I won't get what I need from these people, my family, my friends, my boss. Life won't give me the options or the opportunities or the connections or the healing. It boils down to 3 areas. And I just kind of went through each one of them in those phrases. But the one area is, I lack in myself. I am not enough. My scarcity thinking is all about me. I can't. I failed. I'm not good enough. I can't go there. It'll never work out for me. There's something fundamentally flawed in me. Or I am faking it and trying and putting on a front, but it never works. No one wants to hang out with me. I'm unpopular. Go back to 5th grade. Lack of feelings in yourself. Lack feelings about me. And you'll notice whenever you're thinking about something that you want. So let's go back to the reemergence now. Let's go back to, what are you going to do this year? And you're like, gosh, Summer, I have no clue. I'm just waiting for the world to let me know. But maybe you do have some things that are like, yeah, actually, I have been thinking about things that I want to do and change. Notice what comes up. Notice what resistance arises in you to those things. And pull something up that feels weighty, that feels meaty, that feels like a stretch. I want to change jobs. I want to change this relationship. I want to lose 30 pounds. Pull something like that where you know there's going to be some inner resistance to it. I want you to get to that little edge point, right? Because that's where all the good juicy stuff is. So you go there and you think, okay, Am I not good enough to lose that weight? Is it me? Do I always suck? Does my body not like go along with me? What's wrong with me? There's where your lack thinking is. It's in you. It's internalized. Second form of lack thinking that I identify that prevents people from going forward, moving mountains, creating, becoming, co-creating, manifesting, flow dreaming what they want is I don't get what I need from others. So now it's not you, it's them. And this is not victimization. It's simply a feeling or an understanding, a rationalization that you've cultivated over time that says, they never give me what I need. My family doesn't support me. My job, they don't give me what I need. No one recognizes me. No one sees my real talent. The people around me always break my heart. They never show up the way I need them to. I cannot trust them. I do it all myself. I'm a go-it-aloner. I trust myself. I will get the job done. And I've realized that I really can't rely on anyone else in my life. This is a major form of lack. And I know it's work for some of you guys. I know what it is to be a solo player because that's me. I've been the same way. I had a lot of trust that was broken with other people growing up. And if you've been through trauma, boom, you probably have this. And it means that we're very self-sufficient and we can take care of ourselves. But when it comes to feeling like other people want to take care of us, nope. So where does this manifest in your life? Your relationships predominantly, your friendships, with feelings of trust that other people will reciprocate. They do want to help you. They will include you in their in-group. There's a lot there you can unpack, right? Okay, I'm going to move on because otherwise this is going to end up being an hour long. I wanted to keep it to 20 or 30 minutes. And I'm not even near where I want to be. So the third form of lack that I think we all encounter that I want us to get rid of right now is life won't help me. The universe won't help me. Now, this is a sneaky one because go to that thing that I asked you to think of earlier, which is this doesn't work for me. I want this, but I don't know how I'll get it. I don't even know the first steps to get there. I tried this before, it failed. When you say life won't give it to me, it's sort of like the ultimate, pushing the ball across the net. Universe, if you want me to have this, you'll give it to me. Universe, if you want me set up with my life partner, I'm waiting on you. What's up? Universe, if you want me to break free and break out of this anxiety and this stress and this overweight and unhealthy, you will help me. But you never do. Therefore, even though I say that I trust you, I secretly don't. Because I keep asking you to prove to me that you're there for me. And I never see it. So I'm of two minds. I want to love you and trust you, but I don't. And every time I'm feeling those feelings of, I don't have what I need, my partner's not coming into my life, it must not be in the cards, it must not be for this life, I must be, having to be by myself, or, I'm using this because oftentimes I hear this when it comes to where's my life partner? And it becomes a thing of either there's something wrong with me, lack of trust of self, or it's the universe, lack of trust of universe. Universe doesn't want to give me a life partner. God, source is saying, no, not for you. You can't have that. This is a ceiling. This is a limiting belief. So do you see what I'm getting at? These limiting beliefs that I've been touching on in all these areas fall into three categories. I've never seen them fall in another category. And if you don't know what I do, I go into flow. I go into that space where all data is, where all data exists. I look at you, I read you, I see who you are, where you've been, where you're going, the roads that fork out ahead of you of potential. I've been in thousands of people's minds. Literally, God, I've never counted, but I know easily, thousands of minds. And I always see it fall into one of these three categories. I don't trust myself. I don't trust others. I don't trust the universe. Every one of them gives rise to a particular limiting belief that is manifesting right now in something in your life where you feel stuck, where you feel directionless, where you feel like I don't have the tools I need. I'm waiting for something else to come along. Universe never gives me that next step. I'm sitting waiting. I've done all the work for it, right? And we get indignant. I've done all the work for it. I've done personal growth for years. How come it's not? Right? This is right there. You can find out where one of those is. I've done all the work for it. I deserve it. What that's saying is, the universe, you're mad at the universe. You're not trusting it. It's not giving you what you want. It's filled with lack. Busting these is the way to break open everything. So to bring this down to the practical, as you emerge, and it doesn't matter if you're pre-emergent, right? If it's like, I'm in Canada, we're locked down tight. It's okay. 3-4 months, 6 months, a year. The world is going to emerge, and it's going to be different in the emergence. And who do you want to be in that emergence? When things crack and shudder and fall, it leaves wide open spaces. It leaves potentials that were never available before. With every collapse comes the, breath of new life and possibilities. And I want you to think, I'm not part of the collapse. I'm part of the breath of new life and possibilities. Now, where do I want those to play out? Because look, this is an equal opportunity, thing, folks. It's not like some people are getting the breath of new life and opportunities, and the rest of us are saying, no, not for you. You can't have that. I don't know about you, but I don't believe in a stingy universe. I believe in a universe that is abundant, that is tossing things at me every day, saying, here is some employment. Here is some love from your kids. Here is your house around you. Here are things at the store. Here are new thoughts. Here's green grass and oxygen in the sky. Life is crushing you with stuff, possibilities, potential. It's very opposite this idea that life is pulling everything away. Nope, no oxygen for you today. Nope, no house for you today. Nope, no friends for you today. It doesn't work like that. There are the shakeups. Yeah, you might change friends. You might change houses. You might lose a job. But the universe comes right back in and just floods you with an abundance of potential and possibility. Think about your life, right? It's abundant. It really, really, really is. So as you emerge, what kind of abundance do you want to experience? What area do you want to have it in? And especially, what is the limitation, the scarcity thinking, the lack thinking that's telling you you can have this much of it, but you can't have that much of it? And you know where that limit is. Like, you can feel it in your gut. I can have this much growth in my job, but I can't have that much. Something is in there. Something is in there that's getting in the way of that much. Why not that much? Do you think the universe is telling you you can't have that much? Oh, I just found it. You don't trust the universe. That's where you have limited thinking, a limiting belief. You see? I love this kind of stuff. It is fun for me to look and see where are the holdbacks, where are the pieces that don't work. So, keeping this in mind, what do we do about this? What's the step that you can take? How do we reverse the lack? How do we reverse it? So in my world of flow dreaming, and that's what I teach, by the way, flowdreaming.com. If you are new and you've never heard of me or my work before, it's flowdreaming.com. It is a technique. It is a philosophy. It is a way of co-creating with the world, becoming intensely emotionally connected with your own energy, with greater energies, and with your future, programming, sculpting, blueprinting your future. We do this through flow. So I use flow dreaming as one of my main ways of combating lack, but I am the most practical woo-woo person you will probably come across in many years, if not your life. So not only do I use non-physical, but I use physical. I believe in both, right? The dualism of the universe. There's non-physical work and there's physical work. There's up, there's down, there's left, there's right. There's, forward, there's backwards. There's non-physical and there's physical. And most people in the world only do physical. And the non-physical is relegated to their certain religious belief or beliefs about afterlife, etc. Some of us are all non-physical. We're always up there, connecting. And our physical selves are like, yeah, I never built anything or did anything there. And some of us are trying to walk the path of both. Like, hey, if I do some non-physical work and some physical work, maybe it's like walking instead of hopping just on one leg, right? Just doing the physical, just doing the non-physical. So I encourage you to learn not just to walk, but to run, to sprint, to fly. So the non-physical work that we do is we use flow dreaming to uproot and eradicate these beliefs. And we do it by emotionally reconditioning ourselves to feel something different. Every lack thought that you have, every limiting belief, scarcity thought you have has an emotion with it. You can feel that emotion. Just close your eyes right now and feel that emotion. Something you can't have, that hasn't worked out, that you can't get past, some gate you can't cross, right? You feel that? It might be frustration. It might be disappointment, resignation. Maybe it's drifted into, I've been so resigned and resistant to this that now I've given up. I don't even have feelings about it. It's just numb. My direction is numb. These are all feelings that are cluing you into there's lack, there's limitation, there's scarcity. I found them. Now what do I do with them? This is where flow dreaming is a process for reconditioning yourselves. And excuse me, when I go into this state, I close my eyes, I just get information this way. But I go into flow and I say, I want to undo this. I'm going to feel differently. I'm going to program my life and my universe to be different for me. I am willing to lose my attachment to my limitations. I am willing to lose my belief in my limitations. I am willing to free myself from my limitations. And I feel supported in doing so. I feel cradled in doing so. I am not scared to be doing this. I am not expecting a backlash or for the other shoe to drop. I'm going to try something really different, which is to open my heart and go all into these feelings. Support and growth, and not getting this much, but getting that much. I know I'm making this a little bit general, but it's because I don't know what your particular limitations are. But if you can start to understand this point of view, this worldview, this perspective, and then how we work through it, there is not a single limitation in your life, a single limitation in your thinking that you can't break, that you can't bust through. And remember, the universe wants you to bust through. It's on your side. It's not making it harder for you and trying to prevent you. That would be a mean universe. If anything, it's saying, go, do it. We keep throwing things at you for you to break through. We keep doing it over and over. I keep pitching you the ball. And after you did a few foul balls, you ducked, and now you're like sitting on the bench. And the universe is like, I want you to hit it. Come practice with me. Come practice with me. The universe is on your side. And maybe that's something that you even want to look into heal. Is it really on my side? What would it feel like if it was? So every one of you has a different starting journey here, a different path, but it all comes down to these same fundamental principles, and they can all be found in flow dreaming. And I had you feel something in a little exercise earlier. And I would love you to feel the opposite. I'd love you to feel what it's like to go into flow and to start to recast or carve out different sets of feelings, ones that are not hemmed in by limitations, ones that are not hemmed in by scarcity thinking. Really becoming this. Now, in flow philosophy, what you feel is what you are. Every feeling, every thought that travels through is a quantum bit of data that you just generate. Computers are generating tons and tons of data every second. I mean, an extraordinary amount. We forget that all of us, all we humans on Earth and animals, and probably environment, plants, we are generating data too, every moment. Tons and tons and tons of it. So you're thinking about, what kind of data have I been generating my whole life? And do I have the power to change it? The answer is yes. You have the power to change it. No one else can change your data but you. And you can change it like that. So flow dreaming is the technique that changes it. So what I want to do with you now is have you close your eyes for just a moment. Now, this is not a flow dream. A real flow dream, by the way, at the end of this series, at the end of this event, I will be teaching an actual course on this. I have a live training teaching you, bringing you through all the limitations that I'm hoping our wonderful experts have revealed to you. So when you come to the training at the end and you work with me here online, it's free, okay? But when you do this, you say, I know what limitation now that I need to get rid of. Like you're going to come hot and ready. So we're going to do that at the end in that training. But right now, here is just a taste. Here's a taste. Close your eyes. Relax. Just let your body relax and release. And you bring yourself to your present and you're mindful of your body, of the room around you or the nature around you. You're aware of yourself in this one little moment of time. It's like a little Polaroid camera shooting out a picture right now, this second, right here, captured. And you're feeling your life, feeling tomorrow and the next day and the things you've got planned and where you're going. And you're feeling some resistance too mixed in there. And you're feeling hope in there. You're feeling desire, things you want. There are things you want that you're not even committing to let yourself want because they feel so big or so unreachable that why let myself down? There's so much in you, such a swirl of wants and desires and potential. And you're generating that right now. You're emanating it. You're radiating that. You're co-creating it. You are this. You're feeling it. And so it is. And you're thinking, maybe there's something I really do want to co-create, really want to make, become, make a leap. Let this be the year that I bust through. Let this be the moment where when everything collapsed and changed, it was a wide open slate. There was room for me finally. There was room for this to happen. There was room for this change. It was wide open. And I walked in. I walked into the space and I said, everything I want is here. Everything I want is here. This thing I've been wanting, desiring, it's here. I can have this. I can be this. I'm not too small for this. I'm not too behind for this. I'm not too old for this. I'm ready for this. And I'm ready in any form, flow, God, source, universe. I'm ready in any form that you think I should take for this. At whatever level you think I'm ready for this. I'm showing up for this, but I do know it advances me. It takes me where I want to go. I move through something that before was an impenetrable hurdle. I move through it. I move through it. And I'm there. I am there. And I feel something light in my heart. It's cracking open. It's a feeling of maybe I can. Maybe this is actually possible. Maybe this will happen. Maybe I will get those feelings. Maybe I will. Maybe it's not as hard as I thought or as impossible as I thought or waiting on a dream. Maybe this dream is really actually there, ready, possible, imminently practical, set up, ready to go. What would that feel like? Oh, I'm feeling that. I'm feeling that. Feeling it all around me. I'm being that. I'm being that. Now you find yourself coming back and you open your eyes. And I want you to notice something. Was there a point in there where you kind of lost track of where you were? Where you felt like, I touched it. I touched a moment. I touched something in me. And there was a moment or two when I felt like I really was communicating. I really was touching something greater. I even forgot where I was sitting. That's flow. Whether or not you knew what you were doing, you entered flow state and you opened to it through your emotion and your communication. So you can see this isn't like meditation at all. We were focused, we were flowing, we were generating deep, good, rich, emotional content. That's flow. Now you take this little technique and you expand it into each of these areas of your life that you want to transform. And honestly, sky's the limit. Now, I didn't even spend time in this introduction telling you my own story. It's pretty darn phenomenal. For those of you who don't know me, I wrote several books called Flow Dreaming during a time that I worked for Hay House. And I put together a big chunk of Hay House's infrastructure. I put together their audio department, their webinars, Hay House Radio. I spent 10 years there doing this. I was Wayne Dyer's co-host on our radio program for 5 years. I worked directly for Louise Hay. She was my boss, along with Reed Tracy. I was being set up for pretty big things and getting to learn and discover until I was ready to launch on my own, right? My little wings grew and I finally went out there. I'm sharing this with you because you might be more curious about what I do and what flow dreaming can do for you, and why I think I have the role of putting this together for you. And it's because I really have dedicated probably the last 20 years of my life to exploring this. It's the thing that just lights me up and turns me on, and helping people reach that next level and break through these limitations has been my field of study. So I am going to let you guys go now and move you into all of these gorgeous trainings and interviews. They're interviews, but they're also kind of trainings. That was my intention. I'm going to let you go into these, and you'll be getting several every single day through the course of this. But between now and tomorrow, if you want to pursue flow dreaming and check it out, I encourage you, go to flowdreaming.com. There is a free kit. It's called Free Goodies. Look for that header, Free Goodies. And I give you a real flow dream, one that's like 15 minutes long, that gets you into your flow state, that helps you co-create in that state. It is a direct connection with God. It is a direct connection with your future self. So go get that. Another great resource for you is the Limitless playlist. You can find that at my shop at flowdreaming.com. These are a series of flow dreams that I created to help people break free, to go bigger, to see what their actual true life potential is, and then not be scared of pursuing it. Feel confident pursuing it. Feel filled with confidence to pursue it. Limitless playlist, fantastic. The other thing I want to recommend is called Flow On. Flow On is a monthly low-cost program where every month I train you in a certain aspect of flow, a certain way of using this energy, using this direct connection to model or remodel something in your life. And it spans all kinds of things. We've done a future flow where we're setting up who we will become in the future, our future self, meeting them, having this sort of interaction, a manifestational kind of interaction with them. We've done everything is easy, which means I need ease in my life. I need the path of least resistance. Things have been hard. Things have been tough. I'm ready to turn that around, start the new energy. We've done so much. So check out Flow On. I really, really encourage you to join. And you and I will get to work and talk with each other at least once a month live together. And the very last thing is my podcast. It's called Flow Dreaming. Just open up wherever you get your podcast from and search Flow Dreaming for meditation and manifesting, or manifesting and meditation. So I leave you with those three things. Flow On, which is the best. Limitless playlist, also fantastic. And my podcast, which I hope you enjoy. So with that, I'm wrapping this up, and my love goes to you all. Please, I hope you have a beautiful and wonderful time meeting all of these people. Thank you for staying with me. Be sure to join my masterclass which is free and immediately follows the end of this event. And I'll be sending you emails about that. It's coming up. Please mark it in your calendar. It's going to help you totally transform based on all of the information you've picked up from everybody else. You will come knowing exactly what you need to transform. Lots of love to you all. See you later.